All right, we're looking at volume and surface area of cylinders for Unit 2, Topic 2, so 2.2 for our class. All right, so let's see. What is the surface area of a cylinder with a base radius 2 and a height of 9? Either enter as an exact answer or in terms of pi, or use 3.14 for pi and enter your answer as a decimal. So because it's telling us we can leave it in terms of pi, that might be, a little bit easier, just a little bit time saving to leave it as pi, leave it in terms of pi. Okay, so what are we doing here? We want to find the surface area. So again, we can imagine, it's almost like, because it's a cylinder, imagining this is like a can, right? So if we were printing like a label for the can, we would have a rectangle shape that's wrapped around the can, and then we would have the top and the bottom, the two circles in the can. So this is like our, if it was a net, that one would be up here, but this is like our general, like flattening this out, taking this three-dimensional shape, making it two-dimensional to get this visual that we need to find the area of this shape, and this shape. And lucky for us, the circles are the same. So once we know one, we'll know the other. So it's pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to label some information here. So we know that the height was 9. That is only going to be affecting the rectangle. That has nothing to do with the circles. But for the circles, we know we're given that the radius is 2. So if we are finding area for a rectangle, we know it's going to be base times height. So we are missing that base amount. And we also need still area of that circle. Okay, so how can we find this base? Again, this visual is that this is wrapped around the circle. So the base for our rectangle here is the same thing as the circumference of our circle, right? So just a reminder, circumference is diameter times pi, or 2 pi r. And since we're given the radius, we'll just keep it like that, 2 pi r. So 2 times the radius, which is 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. So this distance here is what we just found. This length is going to be 4 pi. I'm leaving it in terms of pi because that's an option. It'll just make our lives a little easier. Let's see. Oh, we are given, no, we're not given a calculator. So we can just do that in our head. 9 times 4 should be 36. So we get 36 pi. We'll fill that in. So this is the area of, again, like imagining our label for this can. This is, or excuse me, not the area. It is the area. This is the area of the label, excuse me, for the can. I don't know why that was such a tongue twister for me. That's pretty funny. Okay. Moving into the circle. So now we need to find the area of a circle. Remember, area of a circle is pi r squared. So we're just going to take that radius and square it, which will be 4 pi, 4 pi, 4 pi. And those are the areas for the circles. And we want the total surface area. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all of those values and add them up. 36 pi plus 4 pi plus 4 pi. We're treating pi as kind of like a variable. So we're just adding those together. So let's see. So 36 plus 8 would be 44 pi. And let's check if we got it right. So 44. And there should be a pi symbol here. There it is. All right. Hooray! Okay, let's see if we can get one with volume. Good. So we can have a sample of both in this video. All right, so in this one, instead of finding the surface area, now we're going to find the volume. So again, volume is, our units are going to be cubes. That's why it says cubic units. This is like how much liquid we could fill up this container with, right? That's like what we're thinking for volume. So volume of a cylinder with base radius 4 and height of 7. All right. So because we are now finding the volume is the area of the base times the height, right? Adding that third dimension that we're multiplying by. So we could think of it like that. We're finding the area of the circle times the height, or we could just use our volume formula, which is saying the same thing because it's pi r squared times the height. So again, that pi r squared, that's the area of the circle, and then h is just how tall the shape is. All right, so let's plug it in. So pi r squared is 4 times 7. 4 times 4 is going to be 16. 16 times 7 is going to be 112. So you just need a calculator on the side. And then again, we can leave it in terms of pi, so we will do just that. We don't need to make our lives more complicated. And we'll check. Hooray! All right, let's do one more just for extra practice in case, especially if you're like really struggling with this. I got you. We're gonna do another one. So in this example, we're finding surface area. So again, I like to think of it as like with marketing, like for a water bottle, like we're making a label for, this product. That's why we're finding surface area. So whenever we're doing surface area, I do like to, again, draw out the net. So this is more technical what the net would look like, the two circles, right? You can visualize how it wraps around to create the cylinder shape. Okay, so what do we know here? We know the height is 5. We know a radius is 4 for both. Radius is 4. Okay, again, we can leave it in terms of pi. So let's start with the rectangle. So again, base times height. The base is what's being wrapped around the circle. So that's going to be the circumference. Circumference. And circumference, again, is 2 pi r, or diameter times pi. We are given the radius, so we're just going to plug that in. 2 pi times 4, so 4 times 2 is 8. So we know the circumference is 8 pi. To find the surface area, the area of this rectangle, now we're going to need to multiply those together. So 8 times 5 is going to be 40 pi. So this is the area of just like our label that's being wrapped around the can. Okay, circle is next. Remember, area of a circle is pi r squared. And we're just going to plug it in. We know the radius is 4. 4 squared is 16. So we've got 16 pi and 16 pi. We're going to add those all up. So 16 pi plus 40 pi plus 16 pi. Beautiful handwriting there. Let's check in the calculator. So 16 plus 40 plus 16 is going to be 72 pi. 72 pi. I'll plug it in. 72 pi. Nice. I hope this video helps you at least to get a start for your homework. As always, if you guys have any questions at all, let me know in Canvas inbox. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you guys for next class. All right, bye.